Hi and welcome to this Blossom and Friday video. I'm going to show you how you can soft stuff one of my dolls. So I'm showing you here with this kitty that I've made. He's oversized and I'll show you in the video, I'll link below, how you can upsize or downsize any of the patterns. So this one is printed at 125%. So he compares to this one. This is the standard printed size doll. And he's quite firmly stuffed to get the shape. This one is much softer. So a little bit more cuddly, looser, and you'll notice as well he's also got different shaped legs. I'll link below how you can download that free edition so that you can change any of the dolls, any of the kitty, bunny, even the Blossom doll, to change it to have this type of legs. I think with the larger doll it just helps with to have a squishier, softer arms and legs as well. So the arms are ever so slightly wider and ever so slightly shorter, just like the legs. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to soft stuff. So if you've made a doll like this, any of my other dolls at the standard size, and you followed the video tutorials, you'll know that they're really firmly stuffed to get the shape, to get this shape of the head and the shape of the legs. And like I said with this one, he's softer stuffed. His head is still quite firmly stuffed because you do really need that to create that nice shape. But I'm going to show you with the leg how you can just make a more even but softer finish. So I've got the leg piece here and I'm going to stuff the leg. I'm going to show you with that and then I'll come back and explain about the head and the body. So I just have this regular polyester, it's quite bouncy stuffing. Obviously if you're using something like wool, it's going to be more difficult to get a more even, lighter stuff. I'm using my turning tool. Obviously you could use, when it's a wider leg, it's much easier to turn. And a really important bit of soft stuffing is that you push the shape out. Now I've just got this dowel, I think they're called dowel rod or something, and it's got a nice flat top, so it really helps to push out the seams. So if I can start off by getting the shape, I'll show you, really well pushed out, then it does a bit of the work for me. I don't have to compact the stuffing quite as much to get that nice round shape. It's especially important to do that with the head if you want to soft stuff that a bit more as well. So I've got the outline of the shape there, and what I'll do, instead of as I would do with this one and really compact the stuffing, I'm just going to loosen a piece at a time, make sure it's nice and sort of got lots of space for air in there. And I'm using these forceps, but you could use anything. You could use tweezers, or you could just place it in gently and push it down with the dowel rod. So I'm going to push that in, and just with the first one I do still want to get a bit of that shape, because if you see, if I just loosely do it there, there's no shape at the bottom. So I am going to use this stick and I'm going to push it down quite a bit actually. The first one does need to be quite firm, so I'm pushing it into all those corners. So I'm going to take the next one, make sure it's nice and light, not too sort of squashed together. And that's the nice thing with the wider leg, you can put quite a bit more stuffing in, and I'm just pushing that in, and I'm not going to push it too hard. I'm just going to sort of try and gently spread some of those fibres in there, but without compressing it too much. So you'll see there's a nice squish in there, whereas this one is much firmer. So I'm just going to keep doing that, and it takes so much less time to stuff. It's quite good. And this is linen as well. I usually use Essex linen, which is a mix of linen and cotton, but this is just pure linen, so it has a bit of a different finish. It moves a little bit more differently. It will look a bit looser, and I think this looser stuffing kind of lends itself to it quite well. So, and then just sort of manipulate the stuffing from the outside, but without compressing it too much. So I can see it's a bit uneven here, so I'm going to just firm a little bit of it outwards towards the seam, but it's still really loose in there. And I'm just going to continue that in the leg. I think a lot of, when you're stuffing and you want to shape it, a lot of it, it's like working with plasticine or Play-Doh or something, because it's about kind of manoeuvring that about. And then that's a nice, once you've got the finish you kind of want for the leg, and then finish up to where you need it. Obviously make sure you leave room at the top for sewing. And the same applies really with the body. The arms, they're a little bit firmer than the legs. The legs are nice and loosely stuffed. The arms are a little bit firmer because they're smaller. The head is nowhere near as firm as this one, but it's what I did is I pushed, again similar to the bottom of the leg, I pushed the stuffing up and around the edges first, so a few good chunks of that, because so much stuffing goes into the head. I pushed that around the top to get the shape, and then much more loosely stuffed it in the middle. There's still a surprising amount in there, but you just have to keep feeling as you go. The head, it makes it nice and weighty though if you've got a lot of stuffing in the head, and you can really leave the soft squishy tactile bit for the tummy and the legs. And again, exactly the same with the tummy. I outlined the shape, pushed it out, but it's a lot squishier. The tummies on my dolls are always quite squishy anyway, to be honest, but this one's really nice and soft. It's just about distributing the stuffing correctly so that when you sew it up it keeps a nice shape, but it's the weight and density that you want. So I hope you found that video useful. It's a really nice way to make a really nice soft squishy, very tactile, bigger doll. Now of course you could go much bigger, you could do a 200% size doll, and again the same, you wouldn't need to use as much stuffing and it would have a lovely soft huggable feel.